would you compare this week to last week?
Well, I think we got better. I think overall, particularly the one offense, I thought Puma played a lot better today. I think, that was encouraging to see. I thought we made some plays out at wide receiver today, guys. I think Tutu had 2 touchdown catches today, made some great plays. We're able to run the football a little bit better today overall. And then I think, the second defense, I thought they did really well. They played well. That's probably the best unit on that side of the ball was the 2 on defense. So hopefully we're building some depth right there.
You mentioned Puma played better. What about his game was better today?
Well, I think mentally was a lot better today, a lot more sharp in his decision making. I think was the key, and then a lot more accurate today. I think there's 2 mental errors that's really stood out, but other than that, it was pretty solid. But then where the ball needed to be was where it needed to be, and I thought that was a great job by him getting better from a week from last Saturday.
How about Evan Conley from week to week?
Yeah, Evan's still, struggling a little bit just because he's young. This is, it's a lot of stuff thrown at him right now. And for him, usually a guy, particularly at quarterback, he just got here. You like to slow things down for him, but we haven't. We actually sped it up and given him everything as well. And so, but he shows very sparks where he's making some great plays, great throws to a nice touchdown right over here on the right sideline today. And but got to do a better job of just in his decision making. That's what it comes down to at quarterbacks.
Coach, you and Brian both last week mentioned tackling. Did the defense do a better job of tackling?
I don't know. It's hard for me to say right after watching it, live like this. I mean, there's nothing that really just stood out. We missed some tackles today, but until you really dissect the film, it's kind of hard to say. We'll go back and watch that, and we'll see where we are with the tackling.
You were concerned with
a long time, but you haven't been through that many first seasons with the team. So in terms of expectations, did you know what to expect and whether you're on track or not?
No, I mean, it's hard to say, where you hadn't played anybody. Once you play someone, then you figure it out. You get an idea. We got an idea kind of where we are right now. We got a lot of work to do. I've talked about it, a ton, just talking about depth. When we got our first units out there, we're solid, and then it kind of falls off. And so we got to continue to develop that depth, and those young players have to continue to get better. So that's the part that you really don't know until you get out there and start playing.
How do you like what you've seen with the line this week compared, from last week's scrimmage?
Yeah, I think protected better today when we're throwing the football. Talking about the ones. I mean, I don't recall many sacks today. There could have been 1 maybe. So that's a definite improvement from last week as well. So I think that first unit's really gelling up front, doing some good things. We'll see. We've kind of moved Cole around a little bit at guard center. TJ McCoy's getting some center reps with the ones, so we're kind of tweaking those guys a little bit right there. But hopefully we'll get, we'd like to have, 7 guys that we feel comfortable about playing on the offensive line.
How close do you feel like you are to finalizing that interior, that line?
I think we'll continue. I mean, probably right up to game time, and it's going to be, we'll see how it goes. But, you want those 5 guys that are playing to really gel and mesh, communicate well, all those things, because, you get in the game and, man, you're going to see a lot of different movements, stunts. And so those guys have to act as one.
Did Malik play today?
No, not today.
Scott, stepping into week 3 now of fall camp, what are you wanting to focus on at this point, kind of halfway through?
We start school on Monday, and we'll clean this scrimmage up tomorrow in our practice, and then Monday we're off for school, first day of classes. We'll probably go a couple of more days, Tuesday, Wednesday, where we're still, camp mode type. We're still interaction with offense, defense. And then probably around Thursday, we'll start splitting up, our chase teams. It's what we call our scout teams. And they're chasing for a spot. And then really starting to dive into Notre Dame and starting to kind of, let's start getting the game plan started and then narrow it down as we go to game week.
Coach, with Malik being out so much, do you have a timetable when you think he might come back?
No, I mean, that's really day to day. He's really improving. He's getting better. So I don't want to put a timetable on it. We're gonna continue to treat him. Everybody's body heals differently. We'll see where he's at as we get closer to it. We mentioned this earlier. It's kind of a blessing in disguise for Evan because he's getting a ton of reps right now, which is good. And we know, we'll have that luxury down the road. But when Malik comes back, he'll be right in the mix and competing for the job.
You were concerned about red zone defense a week ago. Was that any better today?
Yeah, I thought he did a few things better today. Continued, probably not where Coach Brown wants it yet. We got to continue to get better at that. But it was better than it was, I would say, like last Tuesday, when we did a big red zone period. So they're getting better with it. You know, it seems like in camp, you take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and that kind of thing. So as we dissect this film, we'll have a better idea.
How is the running game and the running backs been? And are you trying to get a lot of guys carries, or is it?
Well, today Hassan didn't get many carries today, but he went. I'm gonna say maybe 2 series. The other guys were kind of getting reps, and really the young guys who we're looking at. Dave probably got a little bit more today, but not a ton. I think probably those young guys, and so we really see kind of which ones we think can help us this year. So we'll go. That's one spot where we feel like we got a luxury. We got 5 or 6 guys that can help us.
Was that on purpose to cut Hassan to see reps?
Yeah. We just he takes some hits off of him, as we get ready to start, and we feel like we know where he's at. We really want to see these other guys and see when it gets tough, how many carries? 10 carries now. How are you acting? So let those young guys get those plays.
You mentioned Tutu had a couple touchdowns. Yeah. Him, Des, Seth, and then the guy, even Devontae behind them. How much of a strength do you feel like that can be for?
Yeah, we got to utilize those guys. We're 5 or 6 receivers right there that we feel like can play at a high level, and that'll be the rotation there. Try to keep them fresh, and then we're getting them in. They should be able to make plays. Tutu was that guy today. We kind of want to see what he could do today, and he really had a great scrimmage.
Is it too early to tell whether some true freshmen may contribute this year?
Yeah, I think it's too early. Right now, everybody's getting reps. We're rotating them all in. As we narrow it down toward getting closer to game week, we'll have a great idea, who we're going to play and what position that may be.
Was there anybody that stood out just off, kind of thinking right now, that stood out that maybe made an improvement from where they were last week?
No, not really, because to me, like in a scrimmage like this, you're not getting, like today, we didn't get full reps for guys. We had certain guys get 10 reps. So it's really hard to get a gauge on that. We just want to make sure there's not any mental errors within those 10 plays, and then rotate the guys out. So there really wasn't one guy that just particularly stood out. Really looking at Puma, I thought he got a lot better today.
You guys didn't go over 140.
No, we were roughly around 90 today.
As you go into when you kind of get out of camp mode, health-wise, do you feel pretty good?
Yeah, a couple more got dinged up today, but they should be back. Nothing. I don't think anything too serious. We'll know more tomorrow. But I think we're kind of where we thought we'd be. You're going to have some guys dinged up. I would say a handful of guys right now that have missed 2, 3, 4 days, right in that range. And then hopefully as we dial back in the middle of next week, we'll start getting these guys healthy as we get into game week, and we'll see where we are with players.
All right, guys.